has been a lot of cards released in Hearthstone. In fact, there are so many cards in Hearthstone that I bet you forgot a lot of them. And in this video, I'm going to showcase the cards that you probably don't remember existed and probably won't believe they actually existed. But yes, these are all real cards. Starting off with Goblin versus Gnomes, we have a 1 mana 1/3 Warbot for Warrior, and it has +1 attack while damaged. I guess you probably don't remember this card because, you know, it never really saw any play whatsoever. Just too weak. We also have Stone Splinter's Trog, which is the 2 mana 2/3 neutral minion. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain +1 attack. This was also just extremely weak and saw literally no play. Just the worst version of its bigger brother, Trogzor. Goblin Zapper is another really weird card from Goblins vs. Gnome, which had +4 attack while your opponent had 6 or more cards in hand. But why would they make it dynamic? Why not just a battle cry? I don't know. There was also the Scarlet Purifier, a 3 mana 4/3 battle cry, deal 2 damage to all minions with Death Rattle. Such a specific card that, you know, didn't see any play, so that's probably why you don't remember it. Another really weird card was Wii Spellstopper, a 4 mana 2/5 mage card. Adjacent minions can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Interesting idea, but the way that mage panned out in Goblin vs. Gnomes did not have a use for it at all, so it never saw any play. Probably the weirdest card in Goblin vs. Gnomes was the Anima Golem, a 6 mana 9/9 warlock mech. At the end of your turn, destroy this minion if it's your only one, which was so weird because if there was nothing on board and you played it, it would just die. The next expansion we have is the Grand Tournament, which introduced us to the Inspire mechanic, which basically made you use your hero power for a benefit. No card did this worse than Argent Watchman, which had a little bit of a premium stat line at a 2 mana 2/4, but couldn't attack. So you basically had to use your hero power, which was a 4 mana 2/4. Come on. That was bad. We also had the Master of Ceremonies, which was a 3 mana 4/2 neutral minion with a battle cry. If you have a minion with spell damage, gain +2/+2. This was a very specific interaction and it saw virtually no play because, well, you're losing so much tempo just by playing a spell damage minion. So the tempo benefit of the Master of Ceremonies was almost never worth it. We also had a warrior card, the Magnetor Alpha, a 4 mana 5/3 minion, also damages the minion next to whomever he attacks. This card just seemed extremely out of place in the set as Warrior catered to be more of a control deck with the Justicar Trueheart card. Warrior got another really random card, the Sea Reaver, a 6 mana 6/7 minion. When you draw this, deal 1 damage to your minions. This is actually just a strictly worse Boulder Fist Ogre. I don't know why they made this. Another really random card was Fearsome Doomguard, a 7 mana 6/8 minion for Warlock. It was a demon, I guess, but it had nothing to do with anything and it didn't have any text. I don't know. You probably don't remember it. Next, we have the Curse of Naxxramas, and I know I did this in like a backwards order, but this was the first adventure that Hearthstone received, which had a couple of really good cards in the set, but there's a couple cards in here that you probably do not remember because they saw little to no play. One of these cards was the Anubar Ambusher, a 4 mana 5/5 row card, which the Death Rattle returned a random friendly minion to your hand. It was like reverse tempo, but like a worse Shadow Step. Another really weird card was Wailing Soul, a 4 mana 3/5 neutral minion battlecry silence your other minions. This did see play, but a very niche amount. The next adventure we're going to talk about is the League of Explorers, and this is the first time that we saw the Highlander cards, which was extremely cool, but that meant a lot of cards got overshadowed because of the popularity of these cards. One of those cards was Animated Armor, a 4 mana 4/4 mage minion. Your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. Super cool, unique effect that was brought back for the Bulwark of Azeroth later, but didn't really see a lot of play. Agent Shade was also another really weird card, a 4 mana 7/4 neutral minion that had a battle cry to shuffle a curse into your deck that deals 7 damage to you when drawn. Next, we have the Whispers of the Old Gods, which is my favorite expansion, which introduced us to obviously the Old Gods, but they also introduced us into some of the weirdest minions we've ever seen. One of them being the Dark Speaker, which was a 5 mana 3/6 neutral minion, which its battle cry was to swap stats with the friendly minion. Usually wasn't that great and often just was not good enough to put into your deck. Minion that I completely forgot about was Grotesque Dragonhawk, a 7 mana 5/5 neutral beast with Wind Fury. This was, yeah, grotesquely bad, am I right? Another really weird card was Hogger Doom of Elwyn, which was a 7 mana 6/6. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/2 Null with Taunt. This card barely saw any play and was like a worse version of the original Hogger, so that's pretty cool. Next, we have One Night in Karazhan, which was a very flavorful expansion, and going through the card lists, I actually remembered quite a lot of them, but there was two that I found really strange and couldn't really remember them at all. One of them was Fool's Bane, which was a 5 mana 3/4 warrior weapon, which gave you unlimited attacks each turn, but just couldn't attack heroes. I mean, cool card, but didn't really see a whole lot of play. Another really weird card was Wicked Witch Doctor, a 4-mana 3/4 shaman minion, which said whenever you cast a spell, summon a random basic totem. Now, I want you to guess if this card saw any play. If your answer was no, you get a point. Congratulations. Next on the list, we have the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, which introduced us to the gangs of Hearthstone. But because of how cool this expansion was, it really overshadowed a lot of the random cards that were also added into the game. Like Blubber Baron, a 3-mana 1/1 neutral minion. Whenever you summon a Battlecry minion while this is in your hand, gain +1/+1. So this card was kind of cool. But, you know, it had to be in your hand for it to be good. And how many Battlecry minions did you have to play for it to be good? Probably quite a bit. A really interesting card was Pilfered Power, a 3-mana druid spell, which you gain an empty mana crystal for each friendly minion. What deck did you want this in? I don't remember this seeing any play, but I didn't even know it existed. There's also the Lotus Illusionist, which is a 4-mana 3/5 shaman card. After this minion attacks a hero, transform it into a random 6-cost minion. Yeah, this exists. Next, we have Knights of the Frozen Throne, which introduced us to hero cards for the very first time. And just like a lot of these sets, those hero cards really overshadowed a lot of the cards in the set. A card like Light Sorrow, a 4-mana 1/4 paladin weapon, after a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +1 attack, was just so bad that you didn't even know it existed. What about the Vrygul, a 3-mana 3/1 neutral minion, which had a death rattle that on your opponent's turn could summon a 2/2 ghoul? Yeah, this was a card. What about the Death Axe Punisher, a 4-mana 3/3 neutral minion, which had a battle cry, give a random lifesteal minion in your hand +2/+2, and arguably might be the worst card they've ever printed in the history of Hearthstone. Next, we have Cobalts and Catacombs, which is often regarded as one of the most powerful sets in the history of Hearthstone. But does that mean it didn't have cards you forgot about? Absolutely not. A card like Bladed Gauntlet, a 2-mana 0 attack and 2 durability weapon for warrior, which had equal attack to the amount of armor you had, but also could not attack heroes, which was super redundant as a weapon. There's also the Windshear Stormcaller, a 5-mana 5/5 shaman minion, which battlecry, if you control all 4 basic totems, you summon Alakir the Windlord. Guess how many times I've seen that happen? Absolutely 0. There's also the Hoarding Dragon, which was a 4-mana 5/6 with a death rattle to give your opponent 2 coins. I bet if you remember this card, you only know it from the Solo Adventures or the Boomsday project. Next on the list, we have the Witchwood, which introduced us to Gen in Baku, who was later Hall of Famed in the record amount of time because of how good they were. But that means there were cards that were forgotten about for sure. Like the Totem Cruncher, a 4-mana 2/3 shaman minion, taunt, battlecry, destroy your totems, and gain +2/+2 for each destroyed. It was also a beast. What? The Cauldron Elemental, which was an 8-mana 7/7. Your other elementals have +2 attack. Super niche card. I just want to give an F to anyone that opened up Duskfallen Aviana when the Witchwood released. My heart goes out to you. Next, we have the Boomsday project, which is a pretty fun expansion thematically, but there was also a super amount of random cards in this expansion. The Crazed Chemist for Rogue, a 5-mana 4/4 combo, give a friendly minion +4 attack. I don't think I ever saw this card get used. So the Electrorite, which is a 3-mana 3/3 neutral minion battlecry, if you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, gain +1/+1. Too specific, too niche, saw 0 play. There's also the Unpowered Mauler, which is a 2-mana 2/4 mech, can only attack if you cast a spell this turn. Imagine having not premium stats and yet you need something on top of it. That is yikes. Next, we have Rosticons Rumble, which is arguably the worst expansion ever printed, but my god, the cinematic for this expansion is absolutely peak, but the cards were most forgettable out of any other expansion. We had a Arena Treasure Chest, which is a 4-mana 0/4 neutral minion, death rattle, draw 2 cards. Yeah, this was a card. We had the Gurabashi Offering, which was a 1-mana 0/2 minion. At the start of your turn, destroy this and gain 8 armor. Wish I kept this card repressed in my memory. We had the Slightless Ranger, which was a 5-mana 3/4 neutral minion with Rush. Overkill, summon 2 1/1 bats. If you don't know what overkill is, it is overkilling a minion. So if it has 2 health, it would get the overkill. Think about how niche and bad this card actually is. It's forgettable. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. I hope you ended up enjoying this video and remembering some cards that you probably didn't remember. If you ended up enjoying this, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment below how many cards you actually remembered. I'll see you in the next one.